Everyone, I'm Jane Clements, the co-founder of Thrivalist, and in this video I wanted to take you through 5 common fears that arise before we quit drinking and how to overcome those and in an empowered way. So we have crowdsourced the 5 most common fears that occur just before we take the leap into sobriety from our Thrivalist students. And myself and Lucy have personal experience with these fears ourselves, because if you're anything like I was, before you quit alcohol, there is a pit of dread in your stomach. It feels terrifying, okay? Your life is so interlinked and interwoven with alcohol. It's how you socialize, it's how you relax, it's how you cope with stuff, it's what you do for fun. There's just so many ways that alcohol is entwined in your life. And it's not only that it is so integrally connected to your life, it's also often part of our identity. For me in my 20s, I was this like work hard, play hard party girl. And in my 30s, that morphed into more of a yummy wine mummy. But I saw drinking wine as like part of who I was, okay? I was a drinker. So it's not just how will I do life without drinking, it's who am I if I don't drink, okay? And what will life be like? So the first fear that we want to talk about is the fear of what other people will think, okay? Because many people are scared that they're going to be labeled an alcoholic, or that some other people are going to think that they have a drinking problem, because there's this sort of common consensus out there, the unwritten rule, that you don't quit drinking unless you have to. And why do you have to? It's because you can't handle it anymore, because you're an alcoholic, or because you have a drinking problem. But I've got news for you. That is actually, that perception is slowly changing, okay? Although those of us who have been sober for a while are sort of like the trailblazers, and we've had to push through this common misconception, many people around the world are choosing to eliminate alcohol from their lives, okay? And most of those people are not doing it because they identify as an alcoholic. They're doing it for lifestyle reasons, okay? Sobriety is trending. It's a big health and wellness trend at this point in time, okay? And why are they doing it for health and for lifestyle reasons or health? It's because many people have just gotten to the point where they realize that alcohol is taking more than it's giving in their lives. They're sick of spending their weekend days hungover. They've maybe connected the dots between alcohol and anxiety spikes, or they're just plain sick of feeling crap and they want to feel alive and vibrant, okay? So there are many people that are choosing to eliminate alcohol for those reasons. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, that all sounds great, Jen, but still, my group of friends are not going to accept this, or, the people that I hang out with are going to have a problem with me quitting. So how do you avoid friends and acquaintances and family members jumping to the conclusion that you have a drinking problem because you've chosen not to drink alcohol anymore? So for those acquaintances that you don't really want to go into any detail with, you can simply tell them that you are doing an alcohol-free challenge, okay? Dry July, dry January, sober October, these are all becoming very mainstream things. People know about them, and people tend to accept that someone taking a break from alcohol is a normal thing these days, okay? So it's much easier for someone to accept that you're taking a break than you have quit for good, okay? So you can always use that taking a break thing. Now, for the people in your life that, you care about, and your friends and family, you may want to go a little bit deeper. And for those people, I encourage you to dig into your lifestyle reasons. Why are you doing this, okay? And you can tell them why you're doing it while making it clear that you do not consider yourself to be an alcoholic or have a drinking problem, okay? This is something that you're doing for your health and for your mental well-being, okay? And I also want to say that the majority of the time, you will find people are quite supportive, okay? Although, when you do come across someone that isn't supportive, here's a really important piece of information. If someone doesn't react well to your decision not to drink, that says a lot more about their relationship with alcohol than it does about yours, okay? So it's really not about you, it's about them. When you say that you're not drinking, that holds a mirror up to the other person's drinking behavior. People who are comfortable with their own drinking behavior couldn't give a shit if you're drinking or not, okay? It really doesn't bother them. But for the people that are quietly concerned about their own drinking, whether consciously or unconsciously, when you say that you're not drinking, that freaks them out, okay? And so then they react badly. They might try and push you to drink, or they might make some sarcastic comment about you being boring or whatever, okay? But if you know in advance that negative reactions to your choice not to drink are much more about the other person than it is about you, it becomes quite interesting when you see who doesn't react well. And you can sort of just take note of that and go, okay, I see where that's coming from. It's got nothing to do with me. And it helps to soften, that reaction for you. We go into this in a lot of detail in the course in terms of how to tell other people, communicate your decision that you don't drink anymore or that you're taking a break. And we divide up into different categories of people. We give you suggested wording and all that kind of thing. So we do deal with this in the course in detail. Okay, so let's move on to fear number 2, which is that I'll lose my friends and my social life. So if you've been a big drinker, you're used to socializing over drinks. And if you quit, it can be very easy to think that you'll lose your friends and become some kind of a social outcast. But I want you to know that your true friends aren't going anywhere, okay? These relationships are based on much more than alcohol. And while the dynamic of these friendships will adjust, your true friendships will evolve alongside you on your sober path, okay? And as for the more surface level friendships that are largely based on booze, they may fall away. But when you think about it, is that really such a bad thing? It makes space for more aligned friendships or to deepen existing connections with your true tribe members, okay? And as for your social life, yes, it will change for sure. You might not find that hanging out at bars anymore is your thing. You might not want to stay out as late as you used to. And you'll probably start doing more daytime socializing, getting out into nature, exercising with friends, connecting with them in ways that aren't alcohol-centric, okay? Your social life will change from something that leaves you drained and tired, like when you go out on Friday night and you only get home at 2 in the morning, to something really nourishing, okay? You'll still be able to enjoy going out for dinner with friends, but the difference is that you get to go home at a reasonable hour, you get to have a great night's sleep and wake up fresh the next day, okay? So another thing is that you might think that you need alcohol to socialize, but you'll quickly learn that you really don't, okay? Alcohol gets a lot of undue credit for the fun that's had when people get together, but the reality is that humans are hardwired to connect, and when we connect with people that we enjoy, we get a natural dopamine high, okay? Without alcohol, the conversations that you have with others tend to be deeper, more meaningful, and without alcohol, you're more authentic and vulnerable, which leads to richer connections. So yes, your friendships and your social life will certainly change and evolve when you quit drinking, but you're going to most likely love these changes, okay? Fear number 3 is that I won't be able to cope with stuff. And this is fair enough, like when it's been your go-to to deal with any uncomfortable feeling, there is this real fear, like how will I cope when I'm stressed? How will I cope when I'm sad or when I'm anxious, okay? But this one is so far from the truth that it actually makes me want to scream, because you think that alcohol is helping you right now, okay? You use it because it's an immediate quick fix. But the truth is that it slowly reduces your capacity to cope with everything, okay? When you drink because you're stressed or upset, you do nothing to resolve the issue that's actually upsetting you. All you do is delay having to deal with it, and you add more stress to your body through the stress hormones that are released to counter the alcohol. And we go into the whole neuroscience and brain chemistry of alcohol and addiction in the course as well, okay? To rub salt in the wound, alcohol also messes with your sleep. Even one drink is disruptive to sleep, okay? So on top of everything, you're making yourself tired. And we all know that everything is harder when we're tired, okay? So when you quit drinking, you are forced to sit with discomfort. You are forced to feel your feelings, okay? And this is the major trick with sobriety, is that if you can learn to deal with your feelings, you won't need to drink. Because if you don't need to change the way that you feel, you don't need to drink. Alcohol is a mood-altering substance. If we don't need to alter our mood, we don't need to drink. So this is huge. And in the course, we go into a lot of detail about emotional regulation strategies and how to cope in healthy ways so that you don't need to fall back onto alcohol, which actually tends to compound the problem rather than resolve it, okay? So, as I was saying, when you quit drinking, you're forced to deal with upsetting situations and stresses head on. You learn to problem solve and tackle the root causes of the issues that are bringing you down, rather than simply forgetting about these issues for a little while and then having to wake up the next day tired, potentially hungover, anxious, and then need to face the problem again. You're also forced to find these new coping strategies, as I said, to manage your feelings and to deal with stress. And you get to use these healthy coping mechanisms that actually work, okay? So, I mean, there are so many of them, but I'm just going to list a few here, like emotional regulation strategies, breath work, exercise, journaling, yoga, time in nature, talking it through with a loved one, art, music, therapy, body work. The list is endless, okay? And we go into a lot of these in the course. So not only will you be able to cope when you get sober, you'll be amazed at how much better you cope. Our students consistently report massively reduced anxiety and feeling more capable than ever that they can handle anything that life throws at them. And I can attest to this 1,000%. Like, I thought that alcohol was helping me when I was drinking, but it was actually making me fall apart, okay? And I'm so much more together and capable and resilient now that I don't drink anymore. So fear number 4, life will be boring without booze. Alcohol gets a lot of credit for the fun that we have, but is it really the booze? Think about a time when you arrive at an event and you're hugging and kissing people hello, you're starting to catch up, but no drinks have been ordered yet, okay? There's a heightened energy, a buzz in the room, there's a vibe there, okay? And that vibe has got nothing to do with alcohol. It's there because there's a bunch of human beings doing this very human thing, which is connecting with each other. The hurdle that holds many people back from having fun in early sobriety is the limiting belief that it's not fun without booze. And you can overcome this by cultivating the belief that it's fun anyway, okay? Because the truth is that if a group of people or an event is boring without booze, I've got news for you. It's probably boring anyway. The opposite is also true. If a group of people or an event is fun, it's probably fun whether there's booze there or not, okay? So if you can change your mindset from it's only fun when there's alcohol there to it's fun anyway, it's a game changer, and you'll quickly find that you don't need alcohol to have fun, okay? You'll find that you can laugh with your friends, you can dance your ass off, and you can have a great time without booze. And without alcohol, you actually find that you have a greater capacity to experience joy and fun, okay? We go into the neuroscience in depth in the course, but it's essentially drinking alcohol regularly lessens your capacity to experience pleasure in all areas of your life, okay? And regularly pouring a known depressant down your throat can lead to not only depression but anxiety as well. And depressed, anxious people aren't having as much fun as people who have good mental health. A 2019 Canadian study showed that people who abstain from alcohol have the highest levels of mental well-being, especially women, okay? So you're actually likely to be happier if you're not drinking, and happier people tend to have more fun. Fear number 5, failing at sobriety, okay? A lot of our students, when they start the course, say, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this long term. And, this is often because of their previous experience. They've tried to stop drinking for certain periods of time and always find that they go back to it. So they think that because they haven't been able to do it in the past, they won't be able to do it in the future. What I want to tell you, and what I know for sure, is that past failure, and I'm air quoting failure there, at sobriety is by no means an indicator of future failure. Okay, in fact, the times that you drink when you're trying not to drink hold very valuable lessons for us, which we can use to help us to sustain sobriety moving forward. So past failure can actually indicate future success, okay? And a lot of people, when they try to quit drinking on their own, they don't do a lot of work around their sobriety. They simply decide, I'm not going to drink anymore, and they think that, that's enough. It's not enough. Willpower runs out, okay? And so the course that we've built is based very much on sustaining sobriety without needing to rely on willpower, okay? It's all about freeing yourself from the desire to drink, getting a solid toolkit so that you have tools to move through cravings. It's about getting to those underlying root drivers or causes as to why you're picking up alcohol in the first place, to avoid, escape, numb. And then it's about filling your life with passion and purpose and doing all these amazing things that become so fulfilling that you really don't need to escape from your life anymore, okay? And the reason that I air quoted the word failure is because there really is no such thing as failure in sobriety, okay? If you want to quit drinking and you keep trying, you never quit quitting, you take the lessons that you learn from the times when you drink, when you're trying not to, you can't fail, okay? You will get this. So don't give up hope. There is no such thing as failure, okay? Then this other part of this fear of, I won't be able to do this long term is the thought of actually never drinking again. So if you are thinking that you have to commit to never drinking again to be sober, I want you to think again, because many, many people start their sober journey with a sobriety experiment. Okay, they decide that they're not going to drink for 60 or 90 days. It's a challenging length of time, longer than they've probably ever gone before, and it gives them the opportunity to experience life without alcohol and the benefits of sobriety past those first few weeks, which they might not experience in those first few weeks, because the first few weeks can be quite unsettling, but as you get into it, you start to experience these wonderful benefits of sobriety, okay, which Lucy is going to tell you more about in the next video that we share with you. So no one has to commit to never drinking again, okay? You can get to the end of your 60 or 90-day experiment and see, is my life better with alcohol or without alcohol? If it's not better without alcohol, you can always go back to drinking. But many of our students find that they don't want to go back to it, okay? Or that if they do, their relationship with alcohol has substantially changed and they can moderate their drinking, whereas before they couldn't. So in closing, there really is nothing to fear. You've got nothing to lose. You don't have to commit to not drinking forever, and we will provide you with all the tools that you need to get through those first few weeks, those difficult conversations, all that kind of thing, okay? We're here for you all the way. So I also want to close by saying that the fear of quitting is so much worse than actually the experience of sobriety, okay? Sobriety is actually wonderful, and you can see that from the many book titles like The Surprising Magic of a Sober Life. I think that's the subtitle of Laura McCone's book, and The Unexpected Joy of Being Sober by Catherine Gray. People are finding that moving into this way of living is so unexpectedly beautiful, and it's magic. It really is. As Brené Brown puts it, it's a superpower. So I hope that's been helpful to help you overcome some of the common fears that pop up before you quit drinking. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit reply on the email that you received this video in and ask us anything. We're here for you all the way. Big love. See you in the next video. Bye.